Hello to my YouTube family, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to start a new series that is related to another course, that is world history. So today we are going to start our first chapter, that is the introduction to world history. So there's a question that why there is a need of studying history. What is the importance of studying history? So this course basically takes the students to examine the human development from the dawn of different civilizations starting from the Neolithic period to Cold War world. So students will also learn about the political institutions, socioeconomic conditions and ideological attitudes that have marked various time periods throughout history. And students will also reflect upon choices humans have made in the past and consider how choices made today may affect the future. It means that studying history is very important because we come to know the efforts, the evolutions, especially the evolutions that were from the past till present and from the present till future as well. What are the evolutionary changes? And what are the further changes that we are going to predict from today's environment, from today's challenging world for the future as well, right? So, in addition to students will develop basic skills of interrogating, describing, and analyzing the concepts in journal. Moreover, this course also provides array of historical developments that have shaped the modern world. So it also includes the developments and themes throughout human history on the global scale. So, moreover, it also explored the interconnectedness of different societies, different cultures, and civilizations across different time zones. So, examining this course specifically is also explore the processes like globalization, trade, migration, and cultural influences or changes, right? So, that is why this is a very important course to study at this time. It also developed critical thinking skills among different students by evaluating historical evidence, interpretations, and perspectives as well. And it forced an appreciation for diverse cultures, traditions, and perspectives from around the globe. So, overall, it is very important, it is very crucial to study this course in order to get familiar with the changes, with the evolutionary changes that occurred in the past, and to predict the type of future, different types of future according to the present circumstances. So, introduction to prehistory and history. So, I'm going to explain different historical terms here: BC, AD, BCE, and CE. What are these terms? So, BC is basically birth of Jesus Christ. This is the time duration that the birth of Jesus Christ occurs. So, BC means before the Christ, right? Before Christ is called BC, and AD is Anno Domini. It means after the birth of Jesus Christ. So wherever these two symbols like BC and AD, it means before Christ, and Anno Domini, right? It means after the Christ. But according to the modern terms, these two terms were traditionally used in historical dating, but in more recent times, there has been moved towards using a more neutral terminologies rather than these terms. And what are those terms? That are BC and CE. Birth of Jesus Christ has been replaced by BCE and CE. So these two terms, that are BCE and CE, that are the secular terms. So what do you mean by secular terms? So secular term refers to something that is not associated with, or that is not related to any religious belief systems or institutions. That is neutral in nature basically. It is separate from religious or spiritual matters and can be used in contexts that are neutral or non-religious, right? So uh, these are the terms that has been replaced by BC and AD, that were historical terms, and BCE and CE, that are the secular terms we use instead of BC and AD, right? So what do you mean by BC and AD? I have already told you guys that BC is before Christ, So this refers to the years before the birth of Jesus Christ. For instance, if I say that 300 BC, it means that 300 years before the birth of Jesus, right? And if I say 500 BC, it means 500 years before the birth of Jesus, sorry. And similarly, if I talk about AD, Anno Domini, this basically means after the birth of Jesus Christ. So if I say AD 500, it means 500 years after the birth of Jesus, right? So what is BCE and CE? So BCE is before Common Era, and C is referred to as Common Era. So what is the meaning of Common Era? What is Common Era here? So Common Era is a way to refer to the years in our current calendar system. Similarly, how we can use AD to count years after the birth of Jesus Christ. So only these terminologies has replaced the historical terminologies. But according to the historical terms, that BC and AD that were specifically related to the religious and spiritual beliefs that were related to the birth of Jesus Christ, right? But according to the secular terms, they are neutral terms basically, and they are related to the system, to the calendar system we have right now, we're following nowadays as well. That is related to the calendar. For instance, if I say that 2024 CE, it means the year 2024. Simple as that. So it is related to the calendar system. So BCE and CE are related to the calendar system. They are the modern terminologies we use now, right? Okay, so these are the basic concepts. While studying history, we often use these concepts again and again. So that's why I have explained the students these concepts in detail. Okay, moving towards the arrangements of history. What are the arrangements of history? How we can categorize history? In how many parts we have divided history? So the arrangement of history depends on evaluating which period in time were the solid records accessible. So we analyze things, we find different things or different logics or reasons for any perspective or any, you can say, we can find different logics or anything that is related to history on the basis of the records, solid records that we find. But according to the history, we can find solid records from ancient times till modern times, right? So hence this time spans in history are partitioned into the accompanying three stages: ancient, medieval, and modern. So we find different records of history from the ancient times. We start with the ancient times, and ancient times will be categorized into different categories. We will be studying those categories in the other lectures as well. So these are basically the three stages, that is the ancient, the medieval, and the modern. We are going to study these three stages in detail. Okay, so what is ancient times? So ancient history covers all continents inhabited by humans in the period 3000 BCE and 500 CE. 3000 before Common Era and 500 CE, 500 Common Era, 500 years in Common Era, right? The three-age system periodizes ancient history into the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age, with recorded history generally consisted to begin with the Bronze Age. So as I already have told that ancient times, ancient stage is also divided into further subcategories, that is the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age. So according to this stage, the Stone Age, there are very less proofs or records find from Stone Age, but we have the records. We can find the records from the Bronze Age really easily. So basically, as with respect to the recorded history, we can find all records from the Bronze Age, right? So second one is medieval. Medieval, the Middle Ages was the period in Europe history from the collapse of Roman civilizations in the 5th century CE to the period of Renaissance, right? So second is medieval. So this was a time in Europe history after the fall of the Roman Empire, starting around the 5th century CE. So it lasted until the Renaissance began in the 14th century, and it was also known for feudalism. So what is feudalism? Where kings gave land to lords in exchange for loyalty and military support. So feudalism was another concept of this stage, and moreover, the Catholic Church was also very powerful during this time, medieval time. It was really powerful. Right, so this was all about the second stage. Now moving towards the last one, that is the modern stage. The modern stage, as the name indicates, all the improvements and advancements that are related to modernism, they are all the parts of modern stage, the third stage. Modern era lasted from the end of the Middle Ages to the middle of 20th century. Modernism, however, refers to the artistic movement of late 19th century and early 20th centuries that arose from the widespread changes that swept the world during that period. It means that this is the age of industrialization. It is the age of art. It is the age of technology, right? So uh, this is the time where big changes take place, like technology, society, and culture. So, this period saw things like the Renaissance, where there was a big focus on art and learning, where there was a focus on reasons and science, the Industrial Revolution, which changed the way things were made, and the spread of democracy as well, right? Where more people got to say in how they were governed. So basically, modernism specifically was an artistic movement in the late 19th and early 20th century that was basically influenced by these big changes, right? So this was all about modernism. So I have a chart of differentiation among these three stages: ancient history, medieval history, and modern. So the time duration was on ancient history. The time duration was 6000 BC to 650 AD, while in medieval history it was 500 AD to 1500 AD, and modern history from 500 AD to present day. It means we are falling in the third category till now. So in ancient history, beginning of Iron Age. So what is Iron Age? It is the part of ancient history. So according to the Iron Age, it basically focuses on the development of different. Basically focuses on developing new tools, weapons, and agricultural implementations, right? So leading towards significant technology advancement. So this is the age of technology advancement. So medieval history, that is related to the Dark Ages, because it was the time that was the fall of Western Roman Empire. There was lack of culture and intellectual advancements, and moreover, there was an economic decline as well. So that is why medieval history was called Dark Ages. And modern history, Renaissance, it means that it is related to the modern art, and that is related to technology as well. So ancient history, there was Indus Valley civilization. Then in medieval history, there was Byzantine Empire, and in modern history, age of exploration. That is till now. And ancient history is associated with the Roman Empire. Then medieval history, invention of gunpowder, and modern history, World War One and Two. Then ancient history, Gupta Empire. Medieval history, rise of major religions, and in modern history, this globalization, right? So this is the comparative table of these three stages of history. So this was all about today's lecture. So in the next lecture, we will be discussing the subcategories of ancient history, medieval history, and modern history, right? So thank you so much.